Central Illinois' news station, the Big 1520 AM and 92.3 FM WHOW. Stream live at DeWittDailyNews.com. They're also heard every hour on the station that's your easy choice, 95.9 FM WEZC. And to read the latest local news on your electronic device, including tablets, iPhones, and smartphones, go to DeWittDailyNews.com. DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air, online, 24 hours a day.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the phone today, Dave Jackson, who owns Clinton Save-A-Lot. Dave, how are you, sir?
Great. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thanks for asking. Thanks for making time for us. And Dave, appreciate you as always. The holiday season, Dave, is upon us. Probably folks out there starting to get those Thanksgiving plans together. And I know I've talked to a few of my friends. They're getting the menus and everything set. How are holiday food prices looking? Let's start with Thanksgiving, the turkeys, all the fixins. How are things looking this year?
The Thanksgiving basket, as they call it, but the assortment of things that people typically buy is lower than it's been in many, many years. You know, contrary to what you keep hearing about things being less affordable, food has slowed down to almost a complete halt in things going up, with the exception of beef. And beef is something that, if the herd is small and demand is high, there is nothing anyone can do to correct the situation until the numbers get larger. But with the prices going up in beef, demand will slow down, and then eventually the price will go down. But with the exception of beef, everything else is dead in its tracks as far as inflation. So the media can talk all day long about how unaffordable things are and how high inflation is. Inflation was just in 25, 30% for years up until 2025. It was the most out of control thing I've ever seen in my life, and I've done this for 40 years. And inflation has come to a complete halt. There's weeks we have no price changes at all. In past years, there would be hundreds of increases week after week after week, and an item would go up, and then 6 months later, it'd go up again. So we are in a stagnant inflation situation in the grocery business, and Thanksgiving is actually lower than it's been in many, many years. Turkey price, we don't have it yet, what our retail is going to be, but we'll be the lowest in the market. We don't get into the games of giving it away, then charging you more for everything else. That's what everyday low price is. We don't play those kind of shell games. So Thanksgiving is going to be extremely affordable this year. And like I said, inflation has come to a halt on food, again, with the exception of beef.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and that will correct.
Yeah. Well, and it's not so much that inflation has come to a stop, Dave. What I wonder is, are prices starting to come back down to where, things like, like the bags of frozen vegetables, are they affordable again? Those were very hard to find. The canned vegetables, the canned goods were extremely difficult at points, 5 years ago to get a hold of. And when you could, they were expensive. Have those prices, have they come back down to where they're affordable again?
Not a lot of things are coming down very much. They just quit going up. And as far as availability, we don't have any problem with availability any longer. The supply chain that was just wrecked 5 years ago, just completely, I just can't believe the destruction that was done to the supply chain 5 years ago. The supply chain is fine now, but it took a long time to get it back to where, we don't have all these out of stocks, but we're just not seeing increases on things. And I just did a Facebook post here a few weeks ago, but milk and eggs, our milk price is the lowest it's been since 2019, 2020, and eggs are lower than they've been in 2 or 3 years. Currently, we're $1.88 a dozen, and the stores in Decatur, Walmart and Aldi are both higher. They're both $1.90 something, and Kroger's over $2. So I watch the Decatur market very carefully. I stay under these, supposed low price chains, I make sure I'm under them. So anybody that's rushing to Decatur or other towns to buy commodity items like flour and sugar and milk and eggs and things that matter are fooling themselves. We are cheaper or as cheap on all the items that matter. And I make sure of that. So, there was a lot of comments about milk and eggs over the years, but that's something that they're lower than they've been. Eggs will go up here a little bit because of Christmas, and the demand really takes off with Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then it will, it should drop off unless we have another avian flu deal, which, I mean, there's just all these things that can occur that, weather related or whatever, that affect things that are out of our control. But we watch prices. I know the retails at the stores in Decatur probably better than most of the people in the stores know. You can't believe all the retails I got in my head, but I monitor this closely so customers do not have to worry about it. And then you don't have to spend $40 or $30 driving round trip at 60 cents a mile to Decatur or Lincoln or Bloomington. That's real numbers. It's 60, 70 cents a mile to drive your car. So anyway, we got inflation whipped. We are under control totally. Now, having said that, somebody will come in and say, I thought you said things weren't going up. I didn't say things don't go up. I'm just saying that it's pretty infrequent. But yeah, some things are going to go up and some things are going to go down too. So, we've got inflation under control. And I think if fuel continues to drop, because it's such a factor in the price of everything, that's going to help too.
Sure. Dave Jackson owns Clinton Save-A-Lot, our guest on the phone here for this morning. Any issues you potentially see, Dave, in the supply of those Thanksgiving meal items? Potatoes or nothing this year?
No, we're full. The store's full. I've got products sitting everywhere. We're in good shape up and down the store. We're not lacking for anything unless some spotty things can happen, like cauliflower is unavailable or, broccoli or something, things that are kind of volatile. You just never know. But we don't anticipate any problems at all.
That's one thing, Dave, I know you really think ahead on is trying to make sure you've got what you need before it's in demand. I know that's something we've talked about many, many times over the years. You've still got your old store location that you utilize for some of that storage space, and just having things on hand that are going to be in demand. Probably those perishable items that are non-perishable items, I should say, that you can just stock up on and make sure you've got it for when folks need it.
Yeah, the high demand seasonal items, I make sure as best I can. I get burned now and then because I'm asleep at the wheel sometimes, but like tomato juice and oyster crackers and ice melt, and I hate to bring that up, but bath tissue. I just bought an entire semi-load of bath tissue, and it's over at the old store. So I, whenever I get a good deal on something, I load up on it, and I try to think ahead because if you wait to the last minute to order something, the warehouse might be out. So like for Thanksgiving, we order really heavy on eggs in advance of Thanksgiving. We don't wait till the last delivery or the week of Thanksgiving because, the demand going through Save-A-Lot is high too. And they're liable to run out. So we watch it pretty carefully and try not to disappoint.
Very good. Well, Dave, as we think about inflation, you mentioned that it has really kind of flattened out and things are not going up. In terms of what's like most affordable right now, what are you noticing there?
Oh, I don't know. I can't think of anything really specific other than milk and eggs. I mean, $2.14 a gallon for 2% whole milk and 1%, and we're $2.09 on skim, and the stores out of town are $2.16 and higher. And, that's shocking. I mean, milk 10 years ago was near $3 a gallon. So, I mean, it's amazing. And, even though people like to see 99-cent eggs, $1.88 is not too bad. I mean, that's only 14 cents an egg, 15 cents an egg. That's not bad as opposed to $5 a dozen. And some places, you see the national media. I don't know what stores these jokers go into, but they talk about eggs being $8.99 or $12.99. I'm not sure what planet they're shopping at, but we're $1.88, so I just don't get it. Yeah. I just think, and the other thing that's really crazy is I don't know if it's the consumer price index or whatever, it doesn't reflect fuel and food. Conveniently, they throw those things out of the mix. I mean, food and fuel are a huge part of people's budgets.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never understood that because it's volatile or something. But anyway, I can just tell you that I am a bloodhound on pricing, and I just look at it hard. And I actually set every retail in the store except for meat and produce. I'm involved in that a little bit, but all the rest of the retails in the store are my retails, not Save-A-Lot's retails.
Sure. You know, and going back to the summer, Dave, produce season was very strong. It looked like at Save-A-Lot.
It was. We did great with produce. We got a lot of product from Maddox, who's just widely known in Central Illinois for having amazing, especially sweet corn. But no, it went pretty well. We sold lots of seasonal items and pushed it hard. We sold a ton of mums at $5 each. It was just unbelievable how many mums we went through, and pumpkins.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like 40, 50 bins of pumpkins, which is, you know, a lot of Save-A-Lot stores will go through 6 or 8 or 4 for the season. We went through 40 or 50. So
mm-hmm.
we try and we price this stuff right. We could go higher and sell less. I'd rather go lower and sell more. That is a mindset that's very hard to for you to be disciplined with, because greed gets in the way. But I'd rather sell more, turn it faster, and still make as much money or more money with a lower retail,
mm-hmm.
and turn the product faster.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a whole different flipped mindset that we have kind of adhered to. Not kind of, we have adhered to.
Mm-hmm.
For 26 years.
Sure. Well, Dave, you mentioned you put a post on Facebook about pricing a while back. Is that the best way for folks to follow along with maybe some of the things going on in your store?
Yeah, it really is. We don't do any print advertising. We don't have ads. We don't have sales. I try to make this simple. No apps, no games, no gimmicks, as I always say. You don't have to hold your phone up at the register. You don't have to wonder if it's Tuesday and what the price of something is. We make shopping simple as can be. You know, there's just no nonsense going on here. We make it simple, and we make it affordable and uncomplicated for the consumer. You don't have to worry about, Crazy Wednesday or whatever some of these stores do.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't believe in it. And then we disappoint you because we're out of something we advertised. So we have just thankfully stayed the course and stayed with everyday low pricing,
mm-hmm.
and it's worked extremely well.
Well, and I'll tell you what, Dave, one of the things I appreciate about shopping at Save-A-Lot is if there's even 2 or 3 people in a line, you're opening up another register. I mean, you want people in and out of there as quick as they can get.
Absolutely. We monitor the front end, the cashiers, do their best. If they were all 6'4", it'd be easier because they could see when people are lined up. But sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge. But we open lanes pretty darn quickly, and of course, we don't make you be an employee and run the cash register, which I struggle with. I will never have self checkout. I think it would be like me asking you to get carts or have you stock the aisle or sweep the floors before you shop. Why would any consumer want to turn into an employee for a store? I just do not get it. So we're never going to do that.
Yep. Very good. Very good. On that note, Dave, let's take a break here, my friend. We'll come back with some more with Dave Jackson. He owns Clinton Save-A-Lot, our guest on the phone. More to come with Dave on the morning show.
WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Thursday. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network. We are steady with corn, beans trading higher, and wheat slightly higher. December corn opening 436.5, up 1 1/4. March corn up 1 1/4, 449.5. May corn unchanged, 457 1/4. November beans starting today, 1128 3/4, up 8 1/4. January beans up 9, 1142 3/4. March beans up 8 1/4, 1152 1/4. December wheat 538 up 2. March wheat up 2, 554.5. May wheat 565 3/4 up 1 3/4. December bean meal $322.90 up $1.90. December bean oil $50.98 up 36 cents. Opening numbers on this Thursday morning. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
Closeout time is here for a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Yes, we have a good selection of 25 Silverados remaining in regular and crew cab models with gas or diesel engines. Some with utility beds and dual rear wheels. Also see our remaining Colorados, Trailblazers, even our full-size Suburban and Tahoes, all priced to move out. See our 25 inventory today at BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
AgriTalk is the radio talk show for American agriculture. Hi, everybody. I'm Chip Flory, your host. We join you weekday mornings from 10 until 11 on WHOW, on AM and FM, and on the WHOW streams. We provide farmers and ranchers with timely insights and information aimed at improving their operations. Join me, Chip Flory, weekdays at 10:06 on Central Illinois Ag Station, WHOW.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Our guest on the phone today, Dave Jackson, owns Clinton Save-A-Lot. And Dave, I know we kind of touched on this a little bit, but I know you've got more to add to it. We talked about when you come in to Save-A-Lot and you shop, and maybe there's a line of 2 or 3 people deep at a register. You're opening up another one, make sure people are getting in and out, and you've got your place well staffed. Speak to that for us for a little bit.
Sure. We have a different kind of an attitude or outlook on staffing a store. I tell people that I do not hire, I select. And that there's a big difference between hiring and selecting an employee. If you see places that have signs up that say open interviews every Tuesday. Well, why do you have open interviews every Tuesday? If you do, you're having to hire weekly to keep your store staffed. So we search out, and I usually have a line of people already, in the queue, I guess, to hire. Either relatives of existing employees or people that, I start talking to kids when they're 10 years old or 8 years old. I know their parents say, hey, what are you going to do when you start working? And you can't believe how many of them have knocked on my door and said, hey, I'm ready to work. So I'm always looking ahead for employees so that I'm not caught in this situation. I know a guy that owns a Save-A-Lot store. He used to own a bunch of fast food restaurants, and he said in order to keep 100 employees from, the start of the year to the end, he had to hire 150 every year just so he ended up with 100 at the end. So he had 150% turnover.
Wow.
I mean, you come in here, you see the same faces most of the time. I'm not saying we don't have any turnover. We have little turnover. Mm-hmm. And I haven't run a help wanted ad since the 1990s. I've never run a help wanted ad since I've owned the Save-A-Lot store. Mm-hmm. So, we put ourselves in the right position. We make it a great place to work. Part of that is the benefits that we have here. Mm-hmm. We have a free gym membership for our employees. I'm going to do a Facebook post on this too, but we have a dollar for dollar matching 401k up to 6%. That is rare. We cover the lion's share of the employees' health insurance and, vacations and lots of other things. One thing we did last month, which is our 3rd year, we had Team Appreciation Month. So each Saturday we had an event for the team. We had free massages. We had homemade, fresh, from scratch donuts. And John cooked out steaks and chops and stuff on the grill. And then what was the other thing we did? We had, I ended up doing this. We had ice cream sundaes, all you could eat ice cream with all the toppings. And we did that each Saturday for the month. So that was really a cool thing. So we try to do things to, besides obviously paying people, we try to do things over and above, to make it a good place to work.
Mm-hmm. Sure. On that note, Dave, you mentioned you're always looking ahead for employees. What makes Save a Lot a place that kids want to come to work and people want to come and be a part of what you've got going on there?
Well, parents, especially people that know me and know the store, know that if they turn their kid over to me, they're going to be trained, and there's going to be some discipline, and there's going to be some rules, and there's going to be accountability, and things that they want to have reinforced, we reinforce it. The other huge advantage of working here is we close at 8:00. So your child, your young person, whatever you want to say, is out of here at 8:15, not at 10, 11, or 12. So if they got homework and you still have time to go do something, so it makes it an attractive thing. And we all get along really well here, extremely well. Mm-hmm. One thing of note, and I just did a post on this, is we hired the store manager, longtime store manager of the Lincoln IGA. He was there for 33 years, and he's been in the business for 40. He just started here 2 months ago. Mm. He's a fully trained meat cutter, which gets us up to 5 meat cutters, which most stores have 1 or none. So we're very fortunate there to have 5. You'd have to go back to about 1970 at Eisner's to find us having 5 meat cutters. So this is highly unusual. So Corey has been a heck of an addition. And then, of course, I have to mention Dick Burke, who turns 93 in November, end of November this year, and started cutting meat in 53. So we have you just can't find more experience than that anywhere. Mm-hmm. So very proud of the people that work here, and we just all, we all like each other for the most part. Yeah, we fight like family sometimes, but that's just normal.
Yeah, sure. Well, Dave, as we wrap up here for this morning, still a couple of minutes left with you. Again, anything on your mind that's kept you busy or caught your eye in the grocery world of late? Anything you want to put out there before we let you go?
Yeah, there is. One thing I want to mention, and obviously most people know this, is Sunday there was a power outage, and I came to work at 7-something Sunday morning, and I'm like, the lights are on, we're good. And I pull in and I hear the rumble of the generator. Well, the generator has been running since 12:30 in the morning, and it ran from 12:30 Sunday morning till 8:10 Sunday night. It ran the store the entire day. That's the longest we've ever had the generator run the store. It runs everything. So we're not, our lights, our refrigeration, everything, just like we're on the grid. So we made that decision years ago. I tell people that I'm an Eagle Scout, and the Scout motto is be prepared. And I decided 15 years ago to get a generator because I was sick of power outages. So we do a lot of things over and above just low prices to make sure we are here to serve and we are ready and don't have to go through the hassle of having the power out.
Mm-hmm. Dave, on that note, my good man, I need to let you go for the day. Thanks for making time for us. It's always good to have you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yep. Have a good one. Dave Jackson, owner of the Clinton Save-A-Lot, our guest on the phone. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network news on the way.